neighborhood. And yeah, the next big thing, that's a cold front. Yep. What comes after? Cold air. Yeah. Very creative this morning. We're going to be chatting about the timing of the cold front and, of course, the local impacts. But speaking of impacts, let's take you outside. Not because of the weather, but there are delays at Orlando International Airport. There's a live shot from our Tower Cam network. The FAA reporting delays due to runway maintenance. For now, there's only 6 delays, but it's definitely something that we are going to be monitoring for you through the morning. Hopefully not into the afternoon, but we'll keep our eyes peeled on it. All right. So at any rate, it is a lovely start to the day. We've got hourly temperatures on the bottom ticker there. But here's a look at live temperatures around. 54 degrees in Orlando. It's 52 degrees in Leesburg. 48 in the Villages, about 45 degrees in Ocala. So it looks great. It feels great. And by the way, nothing on our first warning live Doppler radar. The only activity we're tracking is bugs and birds and other things. You know that the weather is quiet when the radar is tracking other particles that don't include rain, which I like. So that said, here's where we're at, my friends. We are looking good, partly to mostly sunny skies. 64 degrees, our 11 o'clock temperature, 68 by 1 p.m. And we're making it into the low and mid 70s today. Yesterday we made it to 77, so we're not going to be quite as warm. Here's a look around town today. From 77 to 72, we are right where we should be this time of year. 72 in Orlando, upper 60s across the Turnpike I-75 corridor. Wildwood, you may get a little bit warmer. And back over to the beaches, 60s and 70s. This is great, great, great stuff. So with that said, I want to say good morning to you. How are you today? Hope you're having a great, great, great morning. I'm having a great morning. I've got my nice hot coffee. Both of my lights here in the Coffee Talk International Studios headquarters of my office at the house are working. So I've got no problems here, and it's a Tuesday, and it's not a bad Tuesday. Gary, good morning to you. Fran Hayes, Jeannie, good morning to you. Jeannie Rowan, how are you? Carmelo Ortiz, good morning. Have a great and awesome and super cool day today, okay? Okay, I understand the assignment. Carla, good morning to you. Chris Pierce, good morning, good morning. How are ya? Hope you're doing well. My brother Frank says I'm making the drive today. Very cool, buddy. Hey, you know, Frank, I don't know what time you're going to be here, but I do the noon and 4 today, but I've got a very limited window. So if you're here early enough, we could all meet for lunch. I just can't go all the way over and back. That won't work. But if you meet in the middle, maybe we could do lunch. That'd be fun. Destiny, good morning to you. How are you? Paul over on YouTube, sitting at the airport now. My plane is here. So the FAA is reporting departure delays. And the last update from the FAA was that the delays were running about a half an hour or so. So for what it's worth, hopefully it's not going to turn into anything more, but it's certainly something we're going to be monitoring for you. Carmelo, hope you're having a good one, though. Hope you're having a good one. All right. Let's see here. Everybody okay? Annie's asking, did everyone sleep good? I rate my sleep at a 96%. It's not perfect because I still had to wake up early, but it was a pretty good one. Lorna says, good morning. A bit chilly here in Ocklawaha. Yeah, I mean, it's a little cool out. It is a little, I'll give you, listen, I'll give you that. It's a little chilly. Had that cold front move through yesterday, turn the winds around, and in its wake, we've got gorgeous, gorgeous weather. So when we think about what we need to wear today, if you haven't stepped outside, I would certainly suggest the longer sleeves, the sweaters, that sort of thing, with temperatures in the 40s and the 50s. But this afternoon, people, pleasant, very nice. Upper 60s, lower 70s. It's not going to be as warm as we were yesterday, but it's nice. It really is going to be nice. Yeah, I'll take that. I'll take that. Rosebud says the rocket last night was spectacular. I thought it exploded. Well, God. Oh, just because of the sonic booms? Grateful that was not the case. Goodness gracious. Very much grateful that was not the case. Oh, man. Brian, good morning. Hope you're doing well. All's good with the family. Bruce says the comments are flowing today. Yeah, well, it's a good, everyone's feeling frisky today. Everyone's feeling frisky because of the cool temperatures. If you're heading to the theme parks today, no surprise here. Very, very nice weather, no matter where you are. I do want to point out, though, when we have, the muggy meter is how we show mugginess, right? It's really just a reflection of dew point temperatures, and they're nice and low, right? We're not to, fire weather watch criteria, which would be dew point temperatures, in the mid-30s. Relative humidity is very, very low. But over the next couple of days, the atmosphere is dry. So because of that, it's important to at least take note of the fire danger index. This time of year, we're going to be starting to talk about this a little bit. It is typically the Central Florida, fire danger season, if you will, the dry season, the particularly dry elements of the dry season. So, keep that in mind. Today, moderate to high fire danger index across all of Central Florida. Volusia County, given kind of soil conditions and things, you're among the higher risk, but just something to keep in mind. That's all. Just something to keep in mind, okay? No, while I was in the sky, it looked like a jellyfish. Oh, it must have been that it was high enough that it was catching the sunlight thanks to the curvature of the earth, is the only thing I could think of. I don't know. That's all I could think of. Carla says, I heard the boom. Yeah. I'm surprised that I didn't hear more complaints about that, if I'm honest. I'm sure, but I wasn't at the station this morning. I'm sure if I was at the station this morning, they'd have been like, the phones were ringing off the hook. You know what I mean? Oh, man. Betty says, I need rain, need to water again today. Yeah. When we look at the year, and again, it's very, we're 10 days into the year, right? But if we look at the rainfall, numbers, you'll see that we are starting that behind average trend for Central Florida. And we ended last year in a significant surplus. So we're doing okay in that respect. But you don't want to fall too far behind, because once that happens... Are these my pair of glasses? They're not. It's an old pair. Dang it. I can't find my other pair of glasses. I don't know where they are. You don't want to fall too far behind, because once we get into fire season, right, that becomes more and more and more of an issue. So, Katie says, I'll be at Epcot today, hoping for my son to get his first princess kiss. Oh my God, I love it. I love it. Jamie over on YouTube, good morning to you. Felicia, good morning. Lorna says, I'm waiting for my coffee to warm me up. Little Lucy and the mini Doxy about to chase squirrels. Hope you have a great day. It was a beautiful night of stars in Ocklawaha, but definitely a beautiful morning. Just that little bit of chill in the air. I love it. Bo, going camping February 17th, 18th. Hoping the weather will be okay. Bo, I'm working on the long-range forecasting. I'm done with March, but I need to wait a couple more weeks until the LRC cycles through again, just to reiterate. But Bo asking for the 17th and the 18th. It does look like nice weather for you, Bo. Yeah, it really does. The 17th and 18th of February, at least for now, on our long-range forecast, do look pretty good. Yeah. Ann says, no jellyfish, just stage separation. Gotcha. Kelly want me to complain about random things. I do a great job at that. I'm not ever looking for complaints, but we'll take them. Rosebud, I heard one sonic boom. The second one was more like a fart. That's too funny. Eric says Friday's launch should be spectacular at sunset with twin sonic booms from Falcon Heavy. Yes to all of that. Yes to all of that. Let's see. Have they put out the launch forecast yet for it? Nope. But once the 45th does, Space Launch Delta 45, once they put the launch forecast out for it, we will definitely go over that. Yeah. SpaceX hasn't mentioned it yet, but they did pull Falcon Heavy out yesterday, so we've got a launch coming the next couple of days of Falcon Heavy, and I will do every bit that I can to cover that puppy. Julia, good morning, Eric. Can you give us a timeline for the rain on Friday? We will have a friend visiting from up north. Sure. So for right now, we're not into the higher resolution models per se. So understand that what you're going to get is going to be a bit lower grid, okay? But yeah, see, we're just outside of the yeah. All right, so I'm going to have to do this. I'm going to go to long range futurecast. Understand that it is a lower-ish resolution grid, but I got you covered. All right, so here's the lower resolution futurecast, okay? So that's Thursday afternoon, and you see the rains are kind of starting to work closer and closer to us, right? Getting into Friday morning, approaching our northwestern areas. That's 6 a.m. Friday. Scattered showers, even a few thunder showers through 9 o'clock, which does mean that on Coffee Talk Friday morning, we will have plenty to chat about. But notice by lunchtime and into the afternoon, evening, things are clearing out. Yeah, so that's good. That's good stuff. The timing of it for now seems to give us a really nice setup. So when we look at and kind of detail everything here. When we look at the surface map, nice comfy weather for us today, comfy weather for us tomorrow. By Thursday, the temperatures are going to be heating up as that front approaches us. And then Friday early, we get the front through. By Friday afternoon, tentatively speaking, we should be cooling down those temperatures a little bit. That's not a bad timeline. So because of which, 60% chance of showers Friday morning, like the first half of the day Friday. Then we're going to be able to start tweaking things around to give us some better stuff into the afternoon, evening, and then into the weekend. People, that weekend forecast is no joke chilly. Like, no joke chilly. 59 degrees, our high temperature on Saturday. And that's just in Orlando. Take a look around Central Florida, okay? These are your high temperatures on Saturday afternoon. 59 in Orlando, 55 in Leesburg, 55, lots of 55s. This is not quite as chilly as Christmas Day, but it's still going to be chilly. Yeah. That's the case. Kenneth, if you don't watch Wesh 2 News, you don't know when Falcon 9 Rocket Stage 1 or Falcon Heavy Dual Stage 1 are landing at Landing Zone 1 and 2, or both in the case of Falcon Heavy. Yeah, so Falcon Heavy, you'll have the two outer cores coming back to Landing Zone 1, and in this case, the center core is expendable, which does not happen very often. But here we are. Yeah. So that's Saturday afternoon. Again, not as cold as Christmas, but still awful chilly. Then Sunday morning. Let's look at Sunday's morning temperatures. 39 in Orlando, getting close to freezing in Ocala. And I think some of the suburbs around Ocala certainly have the chance, especially Citra, Anthony, Reddick, Bellevue, Denell, some of those areas just outside of the I-75 corridor. So probably going to see some freeze advisories posted for Sunday morning. And then Sunday afternoon, still cool, just not quite as chilly. But the models have definitely been trending lower and lower and lower. So there's that. Yeah. There's that. Is this Friday still our first Coffee Talk drive-thru? I've got to ask Nancy today if she can join us on Friday. I'd love to have her on to open up the Coffee Talk drive-thru season. Yeah. I was thinking of going to Disney on Saturday. I might reconsider. Well, Mickey, you just have to bundle up a little bit. Nothing wrong with that. Tammy, car, cops, and kids outside event on the 21st of January. Let's take a look. 21st of January. It looks like it's going to be on the backside of a cooler snap. So cooler temperatures. Yeah, I mean, looking lovely. All said and done. Jerry says I'll be making a pot of chili on Saturday for sure. It's funny. I think for me, I'm going, because of the way that it's working out, I think for me, I'm going to do my matzo ball soup for the weekend. I think this is a matzo ball soup weekend. Yeah. Annie. Okay, seriously, why is it red? Why is what red? I don't see anything red. I don't see anything other than the logo. I have no idea. If there's something red, I don't know what to tell you. I'm sorry. Secret ingredient of my chili? Masa harina? I have no idea what that even is. I've never heard of that, Jeannie. Tell me what that is. Had to break out the long socks for Crocs, Jan. Yeah, you're going to have to this upcoming weekend for sure as it trends cooler. So the long range forecast shows trending cooler again the 20th and the 21st. Let's just compare that to model data. So model data showing the 20th into the 21st. It's a little bit of a cooler. Yeah, it's definitely the beginning of a cooler stretch. So that works. Just making sure. Just making sure we're tied in correctly. 20th and the 21st starting to trend cooler. And that's what we got on here. So I'll take that. Although my calendar says trending milder the 23rd and the 24th. And yeah, there's definitely, at least for now, there's not a milder trend here on the GFS. So we'll see how it plays out. If I need to change some internal timing, I will. I'm not going to change my long-range forecasts. They're published. But if I need to make some tweaks to it, this is just like chapter tests, chapter quizzes leading up to my final exam, which is the hurricane forecast. So there's going to be some perfection to this and not perfection to this. Janice says, your grandmother's soup sounds good for this weekend. Good idea. That's definitely what we're doing. Yeah. Speaking of long range, when is that pesky Nicole recycle? The next Nicole, let's look. If you're curious what we're talking about, the long range forecasting that we do, and there's January there. I'll put up February if you missed it yesterday. The long range forecasting that we do, part of it involves weather. I did not close my blinds, and it's very evident today. Part of it is the idea that weather is kind of this cyclical thing. So if Nicole happened on November 10th, it recycled around January 2nd. Its next recycle will be around the 24th of February. Hence the watching showers there. Yeah. Hence the watching showers part. So, yeah, there's that. In February, you see that February 6th part of the pattern. That is cycle day 17. So cycle day 17 goes back to December 15th. And on December 15th, Orlando got a half inch of rain, tornadoes, and we were under a level 2 out of 5 risk for strong to severe storms. And if we go back to the previous 17, just had a couple of beach showers and panhandle tornadoes. So, yeah. Exactly. So, anyway, that's a look at February. That's the long range stuff. It's something that we do. Nobody else does. Long range is, it's so funny. Every time I mess long range up, and Chris Pierce is the very first to point it out to me. Love you, buddy. I have to remind myself of what Gary Lezak tells me, which is, if it was easy, everybody would be doing it. So, I put myself out there to do this. And as such, listen, it's not going to be perfect, but neither is our 7-day forecast. Neither is our anything. Forecasting is looking to the future, and that's not the easiest thing in the world, I've known Eric 5 years, and I still haven't been on Coffee Talk. I'd be a great guest. Your move, Eric. Kelly, we have to get you on Coffee Talk. We do have to get you on Coffee Talk. Oh, man. My comments are red. That's so weird. I have no idea why there are red comments like that. I don't know. Is it possible to put temps in the long-range forecast chart? No, Debbie, because if I'm honest with you, I don't know them. I'm looking at trends. Long range, I always explain it like this. Think of long range like I'm going to have to close this blind, I think. Hold on a second. Okay. Think of long range like you're on a foggy road and you see a car coming. You know there's a car coming. You know you need to get out of the way, but you don't know what kind of car it is, right? So that's the struggle. That's the struggle with doing long-range forecasting is I can just give you the trends. Arch, how about sharing the recipe? I did. We did. Was it for Thanksgiving? I did. You have to go back and find that. Your weather forecasting is fantastic. Love Coffee Talk. Thank you, Jeannie Rowan. I appreciate it. Yeah, Kelly, we'll get you on. You'll be one of the first this year. Does that work for you? I do like that Wesh keeps their more senior on-air staff where others watch them out when they get... where others wash them out when they get older. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. One thing about my company, and this is... my boss has not asked me to say this. It's not like I've got a cue card to read. But one thing about my company is that they value what you bring to the table. Hence, me doing this. This is something that I do. And so, it's not like, when I start getting older, they're going to try and find a way to push me out to pasture. They're going to honor what I bring. And I, one great example of that is Claire Metz. I grew up watching Claire Metz. Claire Metz is still the mayor of Volusia County, There's a lot of examples of that. And that's one thing that I really liked about Wesh is that, Wesh, and moreover, Hearst as a company values what everybody brings to the table. And I could go down a list at our other television stations. Jerry Tracy just retiring out in Birmingham. I could look to Harvey Leonard at WCVB in Boston. I could name many names. Margaret Orr, WDSU in New Orleans. Joe Diaz in Albuquerque. I could go down a list of names of folks that are around for a long time. So yeah. What's the Coffee Talk drive-through? Tina's asking. So during the quieter months, when we're not sitting tracking severe weather, when we're not sitting tracking tornadoes and hurricanes and things like that, we do the long-range forecasting, and that's definitely something great. But on Fridays, we do the Coffee Talk drive-thru. Now, I've not set it up yet on the webpage this year, but the idea is this. We chat with one of you, with one of us. We find a guest to come in on Fridays, and we have a conversation. Sure, we do the weather and all that, but you reach out and ask questions, and we interview each other, and we get to learn about each other. And sometimes it's members of the Coffee Talk family. Other times it's members of the Wesh 2 News team or what have you. So I need to ask if Nancy's available. Would love to get Nancy. So we need to do Nancy. We need to do Kelly because Kelly worked with me, and Kelly can talk smack in a nice way, Miss Kelly. Don't tell them all of the awful things that I would do when I was running over in time. But yeah, it's kind of a fun little thing that we do in the quieter months, because we prioritize, right? Like having fun is definitely an important part of Coffee Talk, but there's also that other element. Two-part weather question. Oh, gee. Brian, always with the history. Based on data, when the normal rainy season begins and how long does it usually last? All right. So we can handle one at a time. So the rainy season, the Central Florida rainy season. When does it usually run? All right. So here's the dates, kind of the overall idea. Hold on. Let's see. Hold on. I will find the data. There's a lot. It usually runs from like May to like October. Of course, I can't find the graphic here. What about dry season? All right, so here's your dry season. Dry season usually runs from October to May. So obviously the inverse of that is going to be May to October. All right, so that's number one. Number two, when does severe weather season usually start and how long does it last? So Central Florida's severe weather season is usually going to be the spring. Yeah. I'm trying to look and see if there's graphics that are like built for this. Severe. Here you go. So this is one of those moments where like Manolfi has all these graphics that he likes built, and then I make fun of him until this moment when somebody asks Brian, and we have graphics that are ready to go in the can. February through April is usually when we get our stronger tornadoes in our severe weather season, and then June through September is usually when we get our weaker tornadoes, but those are both kind of Central Florida's severe weather seasons. One thing that's interesting, and I want to double check to make sure that this is still the same idea, but Florida has more tornadoes per square mile than any other state, or at least it did when I first built this graphic. No idea if that's still the statistic. I need to make sure and double check that, but that was the statistic when I independently verified it when I built this graphic. Yeah. Good times. Claire, the legend. I miss her too. Yeah, we're going to definitely, Kelly, have to get Claire on Coffee Talk. Terry says, I appreciate all the little extras you bring to us, Eric. Well, thank you, Terry. I appreciate that very much. Thank you. Sabir says, it would be great to see Kelly on Coffee Talk Drive. It was great meeting you and Eric. Yeah, it was great to meet you as well. Yeah, over at the coffee house. My Coffee Talk would absolutely not include the weather unless it was me complaining that I'm cold. Well, and I would expect nothing less from you, Kelly. Yeah. All right. Talking smack can be funny. That's what it's all about. See, Eric, the people want me on Coffee Talk. I have many things to say, dear God. All right, let's see here. Chilly out this morning. It is indeed. You're behind on the comments. Okay, now I'm caught up. Now I'm caught up on the comments. I'm here now. Hi. How are you? I'm here now. All right. Any questions, comments, concerns? Anything? Anything whatsoever? I was thinking Oklahoma would have the most tornadoes. I know, and that was why that was an interesting statistic when we put the graphic together. I just want to make sure that it's still the thing. One thing that I would add to that, though, Annette, is that typically Florida tornadoes are much weaker. Yeah, typically Florida tornadoes are much weaker, but there are several, like, notable tornado events that come to mind, and both, by the way, are coming up in the not-so-distant future. For example, there's the 1998 tornado outbreak, February 22nd, 23rd. It is still Florida's deadliest tornado outbreak with 42 killed and almost 300 hurt, 3,000 buildings damaged, 700 buildings destroyed. That's incredible. And 3 of those tornadoes were F3 in nature, so that's significant. Truly significant. Look at the map from the February 22nd, 23rd, 1998 tornado outbreak. I would also add that, as these events come up, we will be covering them more in depth, but just for mention, purposes. Then there's the Groundhog Day tornado outbreak, February 2nd, 2007. And I remember this one like it was yesterday. 21 killed, 371 homes destroyed. Two of them were EF3 tornadoes, and I believe that this was the first time that the enhanced Fujita scale was used. For me personally, the Groundhog Day tornado outbreak was significant in that, for me personally, it was the first time that I covered tornadoes in my backyard for TV. It was I had started on the air in 2006. I had been working in television since 2001, but 2006 was my first year on the air, and so this was my first experience covering them. And for me as well, it was my first time working for WESH, and that's what started my career at WESH. So that will be my WESH-iversary, as we lovingly call it. Yeah, Arnett, I would believe Florida is worse for tornadoes. I was hit by Groundhog Day. Right, and Arnett, we talked to you on Coffee Talk for that anniversary event, and if I recall, we put you on TV as well. So, yeah. Jeannie says, wait, what? Florida has more tornadoes than Oklahoma? My train just went off the tracks. I want to double check that that's still the statistic, but at least when I put that graphic together years and years and years ago, that was the case. And I would also add, though, that most of Florida's tornadoes are weaker. They're usually in the EF0, EF1 range, whereas you hear of these monster tornadoes out west because they're more intense storm complexes. So, yeah. Brian's asking, how close can the tornado wind speed scale match the tropical storm hurricane wind speed scale? Well, think about it. I mean, a hurricane has winds of 74 miles per hour, Brian, or greater. So even a low-end hurricane, like what we saw in Nicole, for example, is the equivalent of an EF0 or a weak tornado. The differences here are that winds are much more broad in a hurricane versus a tornado. But yeah. Yep. It's kind of remarkable. Yeah. Yeah. All right. That's where I'm at. Tracking the severe weather season coming up. And one quick reminder, heading into that month of February when Central Florida does typically get those stronger storms, looking at our long-range forecast for February 6th-ish, the 5th and the 6th, there's a Southeast United States severe weather event with a significant indicator for Florida severe on the 6th. And then again, on the 12th and the 13th, there is a signal of Southeast severe weather. So just for what it's worth, the month of February does have a few indicators of some severe weather. All right. That's it, people. It is 8:34. We've run a couple of minutes over, but I don't care because we were in a good conversation. We're going to be talking much more about severe weather seasons coming up here in the coming weeks, getting into February, because February does usually include that. But in the meantime, let's go be one with the day. Because, and I'll show you the 7-day forecast once more, it's stunning outside, and there is not a concern for severe weather today. Severe clear. Kavu. Yeah. Gorgeous weather. Showers, even a few thunder showers on Friday. All right, I'm doing the noon and 4, so I will see you on TV at 12 through 1, and then 1 to 2 during the NBC News Daily Show, and then 4 p.m. for the newscast there. Be the sunshine in someone else's day, would ya? I'll also see you for the afternoon coffee talk. It may be shorter. It may be sweeter. But I get to razz Manolfi, and that's always a good day. All right. Bye, guys. See y'all at 3:30 on the Facebooks and Twitters and YouTubes. Oh, one other thing. Pause for a second. If you have TikTok, will you follow me there? I can tell you I'm not going to be doing stupid dances, but if I get to 1,000 followers there, I can stream Coffee Talk to TikTok, and I'd like to do that. So I'll do, if I could ever think of something cutesy that isn't stupid, I'll do it there. But if you're on TikTok, follow me there. That way, when I hit 1,000 followers on that platform, we could just stream Coffee Talk there. And I'd like to put Coffee Talk out there. So anyway, that's all. All right. See y'all later.